Miatas at the Gap is 3 weeks away, I think. Although I'm sure by the time I release this video, it's gonna be less than a week away, or happening right now, or it will have happened 2 weeks ago. But let's just pretend for the moment Miatas at the Gap is 3 weeks away, because the moment I'm recording this, it is. And thankfully I don't have a ton to do, but I do have some stuff I've got to get done on the cars. I need to go ahead and get started. I've been procrastinating just a little bit. Now, for those of you who don't know, Miatas at the Gap, and I'm sorry if you're a Miata person and you haven't heard of Miatas at the Gap, I love you, but have you been living under a rock? But for those of you who don't know, Miatas at the Gap is an event every August. I think it's always the first weekend in August. It has been since I've been going, so I think that that's just their thing, first weekend in August, at the Tail of the Dragon, Deals Gap. And if you don't know what the Tail of the Dragon is, I guess maybe you don't live in the United States. It is a road on the border of North Carolina and Tennessee, mountain road. That is considered to be one of the best driving roads in the country, to my knowledge. It's very curvy, it's very fun, and having almost 1,000 Miatas there just makes it even more fun. Now, I am not one of those people who goes to Miatas at the Gap to essentially do like a time trial up or down the Gap, over the Gap. I go there to have fun with friends. We always get an Airbnb together and hang out. You know, you go to Fontana Dam where the event is kind of based, and there's a million Miatas, not a million, but a million Miatas there. Hang out, a little bit of a Miata car show sort of thing. But even though I am not going there to drive the fastest I possibly can, I do want my car to be in good shape, A, and then B, it kind of gives me that boost I needed to put on some stuff that's been sitting in my garage for a hot minute. Let's see what the hell's going on here. It's hardware. The first thing that I have here, this is an undertray. My OEM undertray has been gone for a hot minute, and I kind of had always, you know, I wanted to get a new one, but wasn't really that big of a deal. But with my new cooling system from Flying Miata and the turbo coming, it was time, because an undertray actually helps your car cool more effectively because it diverts more air through the radiator. Now, this is obviously not OEM. You probably couldn't hear me. Now, this is obviously not OEM. OEM was plastic. This is not. This is aluminum. But I guess I'm just bougie like that. My camera died. I'm really bad at this, you guys, but let's just pretend that I finished installing it, because I did, and it was really easy. Oops. Sorry, guys. Fun fact, NA Miatas, especially early NA Miatas, are noodly, and yes, that is the scientific term, noodly. Now, I love spaghetti, but Steve doesn't need to be pasta, right? I don't want Steve to be noodly. So what I have between these two boxes here is Flying Miata's butterfly rice. This is going to be a little bit of an effort to get on, I think, just because it's a 32-year-old car, and there's about this much chance that it's actually still straight, let's be honest. So naturally, the first step of installing the butterfly brace is to take out my seats, which I literally, this morning, reinstalled. Probably should have looked at what I was doing tonight first, but oops. Thankfully they're really easy to get out. It's just 4 bolts. So the concept of installing the butterfly brace is actually really easy. I was looking it over. I already looked over the instructions on Flying Miatas' site. I love that they have install instructions on everything. It makes life so much easier. But it's really just pop on the frame rails, line them up, line up the butterfly brace, bolt it in. You know, well, you gotta drill holes for the frame rails, but it's easy. What I mean by that is there's nothing technically complex about it. What's gonna make it hard is that my chassis is almost certainly not completely straight after 32 years, and my frame rails are not straight. So the new frame rails are gonna, here's the old frame rail, the new frame rails are just gonna sandwich it like this. So with my old one, and my camera fell, with my old one being mushroomed a little bit, things might get interesting. Car now. Derek is there somewhere. There he is. Getting the driver's side seat out because I'm hoping that having 2 people will maybe make this slightly easier, and see just how mushroomed these are. The driver's side one is worse. Look at that. That's so bad. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem right there. Hopefully that's the only section that's a problem. Summer camp shirt and I'm getting it all nasty. Oops. Well, it's a Miata shirt, so it's fitting that it's got now, it now has Miata on it. Okay, so my camera's about to die, so we're just gonna tighten all these down, and then this side should be good, and I just got to repeat it on the other side. Really 3 days till we leave. So we leave on the 4th day in the morning. The under tray is on, the butterfly brace is done. I think that's the only stuff. Oh wait, fuel filter too, that's the other thing I did. Forgot to film that part, sorry. But my list is getting shorter and shorter, and a couple of these things, like turbo and boost solenoid, are not happening until, you know, the turbo magically shows up sometime in the next decade. But I have really just 3 more things left to do. I gotta do an oil change, and this is an exciting oil change because Steve's officially done with break-in oil. So I'm gonna be putting in a full synthetic. Yay! Really excited to try out this oil as well. This is the Royal Purple HPS oil. There's a lot of fancy stuff about it that I don't know because it's way above my head. I will have to ask them for details again so that I can share it with y'all in a later video. And I also really want to get my brakes bled one more time before we go, because I've only bled them the once after putting the calipers on. They felt a little squishy in Colorado, so I'm gonna bleed them one more time. And then I need to adjust my parking brake at the caliper. Had a couple issues with me not knowing how to adjust it properly the first time around, and it pretty much doesn't work. And I'm gonna be on a mountain. So I'd like to be able to park my car on said mountain. And before y'all say just put it in gear, the gear on these cars, the compression isn't high enough, and if you're on a steep enough hill, it'll still roll back. So as always, collecting an oil sample to send off to Royal Purple. And once I compile a few of these and actually kind of have a story to tell, I'm gonna share those results with you. So T minus, I can do math, 16 hours until I leave for Miatas at the Gap. And per usual, I have a lot left to do. Thankfully, it's relatively little stuff, but I am officially taking the NC too, which is fantastic. A couple of my friends who weren't originally going to be coming with us, I texted them late last night, and it turns out that they are available this weekend. So they're gonna be staying with us and taking the NC up so that I can have both cars, which I'm very excited about. But what that does mean is I have to get an oil change done here, and I have to raise the front left corner because she has a little bit of a tendency to rub on the front left. I really don't like these jack stands, but at least they get it super high, and all my other jack stands are being used, so there's that too. And this is my first time doing an oil change on this car, so I gotta figure out the capacity for the Ford 5.1. So I imagine I'm gonna be closer to probably a half quart more than that because I have an oil cooler. This is me now realizing that I actually don't know what oil filter. Ha, those are not 10s. I actually don't know what oil filter this car is gonna take. So, let's see if I can see. Okay, well good news, the one on here looks new and I can read the number on it. Okay, I'm gonna take this guy off. Need a 12, not a 10. Oh, the oil filter location is so bad. It's like you have the access panel here for the drain plug, but the filter is right here. Literally right above subframe. Ah, that's some shit. Love it. That might be a 15. I don't know. It's a something. Because I'm the literal worst at guessing bolt sizes, I always grab multiple. So, see? I grabbed a 14, a 15, and a 17. It was a 17. One of these days, I will learn. Just punched myself in the face. That felt good. Don't do that, by the way. Don't punch yourself in the face. I don't recommend it. Oops. While I wait for that oil to drain, I'm gonna get started on the next thing, which is just lifting the suspension just a little bit here because it rubs. I've kind of redneck rolled, meaning used a jack handle, or really a engine stand handle because the jack handle was too big, but to roll the fender I need to get a fender roller, but my friend is missing a piece of their fender roller right now, so I don't have one at the moment, but it's chunked the hell out of my tire. So in order to keep that from happening again or getting worse while we're in the mountains, I'm just going to raise the ride height up just a little bit, just enough that hopefully it doesn't rub too badly on the left. Oh, well that would be why. That is not how you coil over. I'll probably bring these with me just in case. I know someone will have a jack and jack stands there. I don't want to bring those because last year I dented my trunk from the inside out by doing so. But next up, swapping over the driver's seat, and I'm hoping it's as easy as the NA. Let's see. That's not doing any good. Sit rep, easier than the 1.6 or the NA. Oh, hold on. As long as I remember to unplug everything. Because with enough extensions, I don't even need to take the racing seat off the mount. Love that. Ta-da! In a normal seat. Looking like less of a hooligan.